This story is about a lonely, loser corpse scrapper named Alka. He was the weakest in the whole world because he was cursed with a non-leveling up magic. To survive, he had to scrape corpse left by other heroes, but one day, Alka finds a strange armor just when he was about to die, which gave him godly abilities. He quickly reaches level 100 as an adventurer, making him the strongest in the kingdom. It is a very sunny day, and everyone in the town is very jolly. They look after each other and ask how their day is going on. A girl runs towards her mother to hug her, and she happily hugs her mother, but then, from the corner of her eye, the girl looks at a strange man in a dark cloak. She asks her mother who the man is, and she yells not to look at the strange man. Everyone starts talking about the man, and some people call him the corpse scrapper. Everyone looks at him disgracefully, and the man quietly goes to the merchant. The old man looks at the dark man strangely, and everyone is a bit concerned to see the corpse scrapper. The old man asks what he wants. The rest of the customers leave as they see the corpse scrapper arriving, and the man unloads a bunch of corpse pieces on the table. The man looks at the scraps and gives him 3 coins. The corpse scrapper doesn't like it, as it is just 20% of the market value, but the merchant tells him to shut his mouth as he has no right to ask for more. Turns out that in this world, humanity is threatened by monsters, and only strong heroes known as adventurers can defeat them. These adventurers face monsters in search of high rewards and materials. And once they kill a monster, they get experience points to level up. Even a slight difference in level can make a huge change in power, and Alka is the one who is stuck at level for as long as he can remember. Alka goes to a shopkeeper and buys some bread. The man tells him to give up on being an adventurer, as he has been trying to be one for too long. Alka laughs it off, saying that it is too late because he is now known as the corpse scrapper in the town. Some time ago, Alka found out that he had been cursed for life as he couldn't level up no matter how many monsters he had killed. He also got some training and tried to level up, but soon ran out of money. With no other option, he can only collect the corpses of monsters left by the adventurers, so he becomes a corpse scrapper. As Alka was going through the town, a party of adventurers shove into Alka, and he falls to the ground. His bread falls away, and one of the adventurers puts his foot on the bread. The name of this hero is Jarig, and everyone laughs at Alka. He is notorious in the town for scrapping corpses of dead monsters, and no matter how hard he tries, he can only scrap dead monsters because if he stops, he will starve to death. Hence, Alka goes to a goblin cave in search of a corpse, and he finds something rotten inside. It turns out to be a dragon corpse, and Alka is surprised to see it, as the dragon can easily be over 200 levels, and Alka can sell the corpse at higher prices. He sees that the valuable parts are already scrapped, so he goes for the stink bag, which no one dares to open because of its bad smell. However, when Alka opens it, he finds that there is armor inside of it. Suddenly, the armor starts emitting lightning, but Alka can't handle it, so he thinks about leaving the place. Out of nowhere, he hears a voice from armor telling him to wear it. Alka wonders if the voice is coming from the armor, but it is too dangerous, so he tries to run away, but a horde of goblins surround him. They catch him off guard, and Alka has no weapon to defend himself. He wonders if he is going to die like a pathetic jerk, but he hears the voice again. He thinks that the armor will eat him once he agrees to wear it, but Alka is left with no option, so he agrees to wear the armor. Suddenly, the armor starts the installation process, and the abyss armor gets worn by Alka. He finds that the sword is very sharp, and he starts killing goblins while absorbing their mana. In the blink of an eye, Alka has finished all the goblins, and he wonders what the yellow light is all about. So the armor tells him that these are experience points, and with no hassle, Alka is already at level 6. After getting a higher level, Alka wonders if it is impossible for him to level up since he can't get experience points from anyone. Suddenly, a window pops up which shows him that the armor has given him a unique skill of level draining. Instead of getting experience from the monsters, he can level up by getting the levels of the monster he kills. Alka breaks down as he was desperate to level up earlier, but now he can do it with ease. He thinks that his life will completely change, but the smell is still so stingy in the den. Alka decides to take the armor and leave, but suddenly he stops and wonders if he can become even more stronger. Alka decides to kill every single goblin in the den because the armor is his ally, hence he can use it to become stronger than ever. As Alka is thinking about this, a giant shadow appears from behind. Alka is confused as he can sense something intimidating around him, and when he turns around, he sees a giant goblin known as a legend goblin. Legend Goblin is the main boss of the goblin's den and oversees the other goblins, but Alka wonders why he is at the entrance. Turns out that the smell of the dragon lured him in, and he is there to eat it. The armor tells him not to fight the goblin, and Alka knows it pretty well, but he can't run away as he will be killed. Hence, he tries to evade all of the attacks. The goblin launches at him with his meat cleaver, and Alka tries to evade it with his sword, but the goblin sends him flying into a wall. Alka barely manages to get up and thinks that his life is still pathetic, as just when he thought he had become stronger, a giant goblin put him back in his place. Alka still thinks that he is a loser, so he manages to escape from the goblin legend somehow. But now, Alka is wandering in the cave aimlessly and wonders how he can get out of there. The entrance and the exit are now being guarded by the goblin legend and his underlings, so Alka has nowhere to go. He thinks that he should act like a weakling and just wait for the goblins to return. Suddenly, a single goblin is seen running towards Alka, and he busts his head into a wall, which kills it instantly. Alka increases his level and reality dawns upon him. He remembers that he can use the level drain and increase his levels faster than anyone, so instead of killing everyone, he will just kill the goblins and increase his levels so he can manage to kill the goblin legend. Just like that, Alka starts all the goblins in his way one by one and levels up like there is no tomorrow. He can only kill level 1 goblins, but his level is increasing very quickly. Alka says that levels are everything in this world, and no matter what happens, the higher levels reign supreme because the weak are oppressed everywhere, just like he was. Alka wanders in the caves as he is level 15 now, but suddenly, he sees an entrance and the armor tells him to go inside the recommended cave. When Alka takes a look, he finds mountains of gold as the goblins plunder everything they get from the humans. Alka thinks that even level 1 goblins are a big threat to non-adventurers. From the corner of his eye, Alka sees a crate and wonders what's inside. When he opens the crate, Alka sees a bunch of potions, and they turn out to be recovery potions which come in handy during a fight. Alka decides to take some of them, and the armor obliges. It makes some potion pockets in the armor, where Alka can store the potions. He thinks that the storage will come in handy, and appreciates the armor's help. Alka wants to take the gold as well, but it will become a hindrance during his fight with the goblin legend. Alka thinks that if he can leave the cave in one piece, he will still be able to live a decent life by selling the materials of the monsters. Alka decides to leave the loot there, but just when he is about to leave, he hears some mumble noises from the crates. Alka rushes toward the crates and finds that a little girl is tied in ropes with a cloth in her mouth. Alka says that he will save her, and the girl appreciates his help. Her name is Mill, and she is from the Rael village. She asks the name of the hero who just saved her, and Alka tells her his name. Mill gets a bit nervous, and Alka knows that she might know him as the corpse scrapper. Mill tells him that she had heard rumors about him, but Alka is actually a pretty good guy since he saved her. She also adds that she doesn't think of him as a corpse scrapper, and Alka is shocked to hear this. He always wanted to be a hero who helps others, so he gets happy after Mill's remarks. He tells her to follow him as he takes complete responsibility for getting her out of the cave. Mill asks if everything is alright, but Alka says that he is just a little bit happy. When Alka is taking Mill with him, He orders her to hide behind the rocks as he senses a bunch of goblins. Mill obeys his commands and sees almost 20 goblins standing right in front of him. The goblins are ready to attack, and Alka too. He sees that all of the goblins are at level 1, and he is at level 15, so killing all of them will make him equal to the goblin legend. Alka pounces on them like a hungry wolf and rips them in half one by one using his sword. He is killing every single goblin he sees as he wants to turn each of the goblins' levels into his own. No matter where the goblins attack from, Alka slices them with ease, and he even grabs the ones running away just so he can level. In the blink of an eye, Alka finishes all of the goblins, and their blood is splattered everywhere. Mill is still hiding behind a rock, and she asks Alka if she can come out now. Alka says that she should just stick to hiding for now as the ground starts rumbling and the goblin legend arrives. Alka has shed so much blood on the goblins that none of them is left, and the legendary goblin follows the scent to get to Alka. However, this time, both Alka and the goblin legend are now at level 35. Alka prepares for the final battle, and so does the goblin. The goblin legend screams in rage, and Alka tells him that if the giant lad still thinks that he can still overpower him with ease, then it is a big mistake. Just like that, Alka rushes towards the goblin and slices his side with his magical sword. The monster screams in pain, and suddenly, a horde of goblins appears. Alka counts that there are a total of 10 goblins, but he can't waste his time with them as the goblin legend is still but soon thinks of a plan. He calls out to Mill and asks for a knife, but Mill throws the whole bag towards him. She apologizes for dispersing the knives, and Alka tells her that it is alright. He grabs the knives and starts throwing them towards the goblins like daggers. The goblins die one by one, and Alka uses his hyperspeed to kill them even faster. He tells the goblins that they are in a harsh reality because they tried to save their boss, but instead, they will become his food for leveling up. He shouts that their leader will die because of them, and just like that, he throws all of the knives at the goblins, which kills the remaining 6 goblins. Now, Alka is at level 45, which is 10 levels higher than the goblin legend. Suddenly, the goblin legend attacks from behind, and Alka blocks the attack with ease. He tells the bastard that the difference level is huge now, so he can't harm him, but the monster pushes Alka. He wonders why this is happening as he is at a higher level than him. Out of nowhere, the armor tells him that the monster is equipped with a bracelet that increases its strength. Alka notices the status-enhancing bracelet on the monster's wrists, so he remembers that the heroes can't level up very quickly. That's why they need to equip themselves with certain types of equipment that help them increase their powers as much as possible. But Alka never thought that a monster would be wearing such a bracelet. So, Alka decides to destroy the bracelet first, and then go for the monster's head. Goblin legend attacks Alka, but he evades it with ease. Alka decides to go all in on the monster and make sure to leave his mark on the goblin's body. The goblin attacks him again, but Alka pushes him backward. He manages to throw Alka away, but our hero sees the knives he used to kill the goblins. He grabs them and throws them right at the goblin legend's body, but the monster blocks all of the attacks. Alka uses the last knife in the end, and it acts as a decoy for his surprise attack. Alka jumps in the air and appears right in front of the goblin's face. He thought that Alka would attack him, so the goblin puts his cleaver right in front of his face. But this was Alka's plan to make the bracelet open to attack. In a single blow, Alka destroys the bracelet and the goblin is now confused. Its last source of energy is now depleted, and there is nowhere for him to hide as Alka prepares to launch at him. We also see that a strange aura starts coming from the armor, and Alka says that he is going for the small fry now. Alka tells the goblin legend that when he came inside the den, he was at level 1 and the bastard tried to strike fear in him using his overwhelming power. However, the tables have completely turned this time, and now it is his time to strike fear in the goblin's heart. The goblin legend hesitates as he takes 2 steps back, but Alka launches at him. The goblin blocks the attack, however. He is still flying in the air against a wall. Blood spits out of his mouth as Alka approaches him, asking how it feels to be on the weak side. With the overwhelming aura, Alka uses his sword and takes the blades out of the goblin's hand. Alka remembers all the people who called him pathetic and a corpse scrapper, but now he will kill his old self. The goblin uses his last ounce of energy to throw a punch at Alka, but Armix slits the throat of the giant, killing him for good. Thanks to the goblin legend, Alka is now at level 80, and he appreciates the goblin's help. The armor confirms the leveling up, and Alka tells Mill that she can come out now. Mill comes out as she is scared and sees the dead body of the goblin legend. She tells Alka that he is unbeatable, and Alka uses his blade to get some rare materials from the monster's body. He had never thought that a day would come when he would be able to collect such rare items. Mill says that he can give it to her, and she will keep the materials safe. Alka apologizes for making her carry the materials, but Mill says that it is fine since he saved her. Alka wonders what he should do now, as he has killed the goblin legend and collected all the materials. Mill wonders what is going on, and Alka says that if he leaves the goblins unchecked, they will kidnap more humans, so he decides to get rid of all the goblins. After a while, the Jew returns to the village and Alka is already at level 100. He thinks that he was level 1 when he left, but now he is at level 100, hence, he will be able to defeat all the monsters around the village. Mill asks what the hell he is talking about, as she has never heard of a 3-digit adventurer in this village, and Alka is already the top adventurer in the village. Turns out that Alka was so engrossed in surviving that he forgot to take a look at other heroes. The two seem very happy when Jarig and his party arrive. He calls Alka a corpse scrapper and asks what is up with that fancy armor. They make fun of his new fancy armor, saying that he can't level up, so he is relying on fancy equipment, which will not make him level up. Alka gets pissed and puts the sword at Jarig's neck, asking him if he can shut his mouth. After Alka tells him that he is tired of Jarig, Jarig gets pissed, so he tells Alka to shut up, as a level 1 corpse scrapper should not talk big. He pulls out his dagger, but in a flash, Alka sends the dagger flying in the air with a single hit from his sword. Jarig can't believe what he is seeing, and he sits on the ground. The rest of his gang member tries to take him out, but Alka Death stares at them, asking if they want to be his next victim. Jarig is hesitant and wonders how a low-level corpse scrapper can beat a level 20 adventurer like him. Alka flexes a bit and smiles at him, saying that level 20 is just 1/5 of his level. One of his teammates checks the window and tells Jarig about the corpse scrapper's level. Jarig wonders what his friend saw, and when he opens his hero window, he is shocked to see that Alka is at level 100. His soul leaves his body for a second, and Jarig asks if Alka is really at level 100. Does it mean that he is a monster? Alka finds it amusing, as he is now being called a monster after he was called a corpse scrapper. Alka looks back, and in a millisecond, Jarig and his party run away. Mill tells Alka to have some confidence in himself, as he is not his older self anymore. They go to the merchant, and Mill tells Alka that everyone in the town needs to know about Alka's progress. They go to the merchant, who is used to treating Alka with a bad attitude. He tells Alka that even if he wears good equipment, he won't give him a good price since he always brings junk. Alka opens his bag, and the merchant is shocked to see a goblin legend's fang. He asks if it is a fake, but Alka tells him that he got the fang after defeating the goblin legend. The merchant can't trust Alka, so Alka orders Mill to dump all the stuff. When the old man sees the good, he gets excited, but Alka tells him to give him a fair price. Else, he can sell these items to someone else for a better price, but the merchant tells Alka to stop, as he will give him a good price. It turns out that there are not many strong adventurers in the village, so the merchant has never seen such expensive materials before. Suddenly, a bunch of level 8 werewolves enter the village. Everyone is scared to see them as Jarig and his team was tasked to take them out, but Alka knows that they ran away from the village after getting humiliated. Hence, Alka thinks that it is his time to shine. Alka jumps into the battlefield and starts taking out the wolves since he is at level 100, which can make the job a quick fix, but there are a lot of people around. Hence, Alka has to save all of them while killing the beasts. One of the wolves jumps on a man, but Alka saves the man. The man appreciates the efforts, but he sees that the man who saved him is the corpse scrapper. Alka tells him that he can call him whatever he likes, but there is something more important for now. Alka shouts that he is the corpse scrapper that everyone hates, but it is not a reason to abandon others. Everyone is shocked to see that the corpse scrapper is saving them, as Alka takes out the wolves one by one. He takes out all of them, and the window shows that he has leveled up to 172 level. Seeing this, Alka is concerned as he counts that there were 10 wolves. With all of them being at level 8, he should be at level 180, which means that one of the wolves is still hiding somewhere. He looks around and sees a wolf at the top of a house staring at a little girl. The wolf pounces on the little kid, and Alka is too far from her. He wonders if there are still some lives he can't save even after leveling up this much. Still, Alka refuses to give up. He has been weak for so long that he wants to make his every move count. The wolf is just inches away from the girl, and Alka quickly devises a plan. He thinks that throwing his sword at the wolf will save the girl, but he has to be quick and accurate. Hence, he grabs his sword and throws it at the wolf with full force. The girl gets scared and closes her eyes, but the sword hits the wolf right in the middle of his chest, and the beast dies. The girl gets up, and she is happy to see the corpse scrapper. She asks if he is the one to save her, and Alka replies positively. The girl appreciates his help, and Alka waves at her. After that, everyone gathers around Alka and tells him they must talk about something. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this awesome video, and if you want to check out more videos like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel and have a look at our best videos, which will be a Christmas treat for you. Until next time, peace.
A man tells Alka that they need to talk, seeing which Alka remarks that this is going to be a pain in the butt and inwardly questions if they're displeased that the infamous corpse scrapper saved their lives. He coldly says he's leaving now since no one would want to see the face of the corpse scrapper. However, someone hurriedly asks him to wait and the townspeople thank him. Alka reacts with shock as the people thank him for saving them. The man tells Alka it's fine if he thinks he's being too dramatic since he put his body on the line for him, which he really appreciates. Alka stays silent as a woman approaches him with a young girl Alka saved and thanks him for rescuing the child. She bows and sincerely thanks him again, but Alka hurriedly asks her to please raise her head since he just did it because he wanted to save everyone. He mutters that his past as a corpse scrapper will never go away, but he now has the power to protect others, so he's going to become an adventurer in order to help people. He suggests that it would perhaps be good if they could keep an eye on him. That's all he's asking for now. And so on that day, Alka, who was once nothing more than a mere corpse scrapper, became the adventurer who saved the village. The next day, Mild cheerily greets Alka and asks if he's not wearing his armor today. Alka asks if she means the Abyss armor and snaps his thumb, after which the armor suddenly appears on his body. He reveals that he just found out he could put it on and off in an instant. Mill says that's awesome, and Alka mutters that he's become a real adventurer thanks to this armor. He was really fortunate to find it in that goblin's heist. He wonders why there was a dead dragon in that place, but remarks that it doesn't really matter now. Meanwhile, in the goblin's nest near the dragon's corpse, Jarik hurriedly tells his party members to get away from that thing now. The girl desperately asks for help, but she's suddenly attacked. As he's running, Jarik wonders what the hell is going on and angrily asks the being what the hell it is. A gigantic eye slowly looks down on Jarik and starts powering up, seeing which he nervously chuckles and realizes this is the end for him too, before the eye suddenly attacks him with a powerful beam. Meanwhile, Alka wonders if that was just his imagination and turns around. As Jarik's party is fighting an orc, he hurriedly tells his party to not let it get away since it's wounded. However, the orc rushes into the cave. Jarik mutters that since they abandoned their mission to take down the werewolf, they got fined a lot of money, which is why they can't let a lucrative prey escape now. As the orc slowly walks inside the cave, it smells something and heads towards it. It finds a dead dragon's corpse and starts manically grinning with saliva dripping out of its mouth. Jariek and his party mutter that the orc has to be up ahead, but they suddenly hear a monster scream. They question what that weird smell is, and Jariek says he's about to throw up. The party is shocked to see the orc wildly eating the dragon's corpse and starts shaking with fear. Later in the forest, Alka says he was right. It wasn't his imagination, since there's a strange feeling in the air. He says it feels like it's coming from this place and suddenly senses something. He questions what's going on and heads inside. As Alka is walking in the cave, he covers his nose and wonders why the rotting smell is getting worse, remembering that he found the dragon's body up ahead. He's shocked to see the orc holding the adventurer's corpse before it turns towards him and throws the corpse away. Alarmed, Alka remarks that its presence is overwhelming and is unlike anything he's ever faced before, but he's level 180 now, so there is no way he can lose with the level he is at now. Then, before it makes a move, he declares that he'll take it down with a single blow. The system confirms the level difference with enemy monsters and informs him that the battle is strongly discouraged. Shocked, Alka suddenly gets punched in the stomach by the orc and is thrown back. He wearily gets up and questions how it's that strong, as the system states that checking enemy status is recommended. Alka shockingly sees that the orc is at level 200 and reacts with shock. The system detects a strong energy surge in the enemy's head and says immediate evasion is recommended. Alka weakly mutters that he can't move, as the system repeatedly informs him that evasion is recommended. Alka hurriedly tries to make his body, since if he doesn't do something, he's dead. The system starts counting down the estimated time remaining before the energy beam fires, as Alka says there's no way he's getting killed. As the timer counts down, he wearily props himself up using his sword. However, the orc fires the energy beam and he's slammed into the wall beside him. Alka weakly remarks that he's losing consciousness. Seeing him lying immobile, the orc slowly heads to the opening of the cave. Later, Alka urgently wakes up and is informed that the enemy is moving out of the cave. It is possible that Alka was considered deceased by it. Alka sees that it misjudged and admits he's kind of dying. He's informed that his body has been severely damaged. Use of potions in his possession is strongly recommended. Confused, Alka suddenly remembers the potions he took from the goblins and drinks one. He gets up, saying it looks like he can somehow move now and should give his thanks to the goblins. Alka urgently says he needs to chase it fast, since he's sure its next target is Rael village. Someone weakly calls him Corpse Scrapper from behind, and Alka recognizes that voice is from Jariek. Lying in a bloodied state, Jariek threateningly orders Alka to give him all those potions, since they're wasted on a corpse scrapper like him. He says he's going to run away as soon as he recovers, since if he lets Rael village be the bait, he should be able to survive. Thus, he orders Alka to hurry up and give him the potions. As he spits blood, he wearily mutters that his whole body is so hurt. His mind is going insane. Alka stays silent for a moment and asks Abe's armor if Jariek's wound can be healed using potions. The armor states that it's impossible. He has received numerous fatal injuries, and no matter what measures are taken, he will die after a few more minutes of intense pain. Alka asks if he can ask one more thing and questions if level drain can be used to absorb levels from a human. The armor states that it's possible, so Alka tells Jariek he can't be saved anymore. Jariek says he knows that and says he just wants to run away from this pain. Alka mutters that if there's anything he can do to free him from the pain, there's only one thing he can do. Jariek says he knows what he means and tells him to go ahead and do it. He asks Alka to kill him, seeing which Alka tells Jariek he never liked him to the end, but it's still sad to say goodbye like this. Alka absorbs Jariek's levels and reaches level 200. The orc menacingly walks towards Rael village and angrily screams before Alka suddenly slashes through its hand. It starts screaming in pain as Alka says he can't keep losing to it and attacks it. As the orc hurriedly shields itself, Alka says he'll give it some advice and says it should thoroughly eliminate the weak. Since it didn't do that earlier, their level is the same now. He says they should start the fight now and warns that it should watch out, since even though he didn't like him, he had to kill someone he knew with his own hands, which is why he's never been so pissed off in his life. The orc wildly rushes towards Alka, but he jumps up and attacks its wing. However, it doesn't work, and he annoyingly remarks that the wing is tougher than it looks. As the orc gets ready to power up its energy beam, Alka declares that he won't let it do that again and charges towards it. However, the orc suddenly deactivates its beam and kicks him away. Alka annoyingly grunts before the orc grabs a tree and slams it into him. Alka is thrown back at the wall and wearily coughs, remarking that their level difference disappeared, but they're still evenly matched. It doesn't mean he has the upper hand, since the orc even uses Finks too. He downs a potion and furiously tells the orc it's not over yet. Alka rushes towards the orc as the armor informs him that it's detecting a strong energy surge and evasion is recommended. Alka realizes it can't be stopped and swiftly dodges the enemy beam before slashing at the orc and managing to rip through its wings. Shocked, the orc gets away from him as Alka says he finally got some damage in. The orc suddenly turns towards Rael village and jumps up, shocking Alka, who realizes it's retreating to the village. He says he has to chase it since the village is in danger. The orc suddenly slams down in the village and starts destroying the houses as Alka rushes towards it. The townspeople desperately run away, but the orc charges up its energy beam and destroys an entire path. Alka tells it to stop and tries to attack. However, the orc dodges and jumps upwards. Alka quickly blocks it, saying he won't let it and struggles against its strength before declaring that he must protect the village since he can't give up yet. He quickly dodges the energy beam, but the orc suddenly appears behind him and slams him down before flying away. Alka wearily gets up, muttering that he can't give up yet since he's the only adventurer who has the level to fight against it here, which is why he has to stand up and fight. An old chef standing in front of the orc calmly calls it a big silly monster. The orc screams as the chef mutters that this is a small village. Even if he runs away, it will catch up, so all he has to do is wait for the hero to arrive. He asks if he's right as Alka suddenly appears in front of him and cheerily asks if this ragged adventurer looks like a hero to him. The chef affirms this since Alka was the one who came to his rescue. Alka admits he doesn't know if he can win or not, even though they have the same level. The chef tells him to not be so grim and throws something towards him. Alka catches it and surprisingly sees that it's the leftover bread from when he was still a corpse scrapper. The chef asks if this situation is nothing compared to those days. Alka agrees, saying this bread sucks, but thanks to it, it gives him courage, so he thanks the man. He tells the orc he won't keep it waiting, and they should continue their fight. Alka charges forward and attacks the orc. He continues slashing at it, but the orc grabs him and throws him away. Alka quickly gets up and questions how he should damage it. He suddenly hears a small child behind him crying and wonders why there's still a kid here. Alka hurriedly tells the kid to quickly run, but he weakly says he can't move because he's too scared. The orc suddenly rounds on the child and jumps in front of him. However, just as it's about to punch the kid, Alka takes it head-on and says he won't let it. Alka wearily falls in front of the child and tells him to run since he can't keep up protecting him. When the child doesn't move, Alka tells him to show him some courage, so the child slowly agrees and starts running away, saying he'll try. As he runs away, Alka slowly looks up at the orc and the armor informs him that the enemy completed its energy charge. Immediate withdrawal from this location is recommended. Alka slowly apologizes and admits he can't run away this time. The orc suddenly fires, slamming Alka into a house. Alka is in awe of the orc's power and mutters that even though they have the same level, the difference in ability is too great. The armor states that heavy damage recovery is recommended, so Alka slowly reaches for his potion. However, he shockingly sees that he must have dropped it when he was blown away. He wearily tries to get up since he quickly needs to recover, but his hand slowly falls down. Alka wonders if this is as far as he goes and questions if he won't be able to protect the village. However, he remarks that as long as he can recover, he can still fight. He asks somebody to please lend him their help. Someone suddenly pours potion into his mouth, and Alka wakes up to see a girl named Leela introducing herself as just a village girl who wants to protect the village she was born in and raised with love. The orc angrily screams, seeing which Alka says he must get back to that monster fast. Leela slowly says she's been watching him fighting to protect the village for some time now, and knowing he still cares about this village made her very happy. However, for now, she suggests that they should run away, but Alka argues that he can't since he's the only one in this village who can defeat that monster. In that case, Leela says there's even more reason to run in that case. Alka reacts with surprise as Leela explains that if he's defeated here, she's sure no one can save this village anymore. That's why, until his wound is fully healed, she thinks he should avoid fighting that monster. Alka inwardly admits he's right since his whole body is still hurting and remarks that it's going to take a while before he can fight at full strength. The orc suddenly appears in front of Alka and Leela hurriedly says they should get going. Alka agrees and grabs her hand, saying they should retreat for now as they start running. Leela takes him into an alleyway and Alka asks how she knows his name, so Leela explains that he's famous in this village after all. Alka asks if it's because he's the corpse scrapper, so Leela says there's that too, but for her, he's a hero. She reveals that she was there when the werewolves attacked the village, which is why she believes him. If it's him, she's sure he can save the village. Alka agrees and promises to save the village. They suddenly hear someone screaming and see a man yanking a girl by her hair inside a cart, angrily telling her to get inside. He says he's so grateful to the monster since there's nobody to stop them now, since openly kidnapping people like this is a great way to make money. Alka is shocked that they're kidnapping people at a time like this, and another guy says they can take everything they want. Leela mutters that that's unforgivable, and Alka turns around to tell her to wait her while he goes to stop them. However, he shockingly sees a man holding a blade to Leela's throat. The man orders Alka to follow his order if he doesn't want this woman hurt. He tells Alka to go to the front of the carriage, so Alka begrudgingly agrees. Seeing Alka and Leela, the merchant asks what the hell is up with this and reminds the bald guy that they don't need a man. He suddenly notices Leela and says she's really beautiful. He examines Leela's face and menacingly says she's going to sell for a lot of money. Alka angrily asks if they don't have a conscience since they're trafficking people at a time like this. The merchant says he doesn't have one at all since they came here to pillage this village in the first place. He tells Alka that he's lucky they weren't the ones who killed the villagers. Alka furiously swears at them, but the man smilingly tells him to say what he wants and asks if he's an adventurer, muttering that it's a shame because no matter how powerful he is, he can't do anything. They say it's time to go, so the man tells the bald guy to handle Leela with care since it would be troublesome if Alka made a move. Alka remarks that he only needs a split second. If there's an opening, he could save her. Mill suddenly rushes towards the bald guy from behind with a knife, but the man swiftly dodges and says she should know their strength difference since she can't beat him. However, Mill mutters that it's fine as Alka suddenly punches the man in the face, freeing Leela. He catches her before she can fall and tells her to step aside for a bit. The man orders his underlings to kill Alka before he interferes any further and to not let their guards down. As the men surround him, Alka asks if they're sure since he won't hold back. The man menacingly asks if he got scared and says he warned him. However, Alka says he's going to quote that guy from earlier and declares that they can't beat him because they should know their level difference. Alka swiftly slices through the man and absorbs their levels, seeing which their boss collapses and questions what's going on. He slowly says that's not the speed of an ordinary adventurer, so Alka says that's obvious because he's not an ordinary adventurer, he's level 200. The man angrily rushes towards him, but Alka slashes through him. The armor absorbs the man's level and confirms the owner's increase in level, increasing him to level 250. It informs him that he has reached the maximum level of a human being. Surprised, Alka wonders if that means level 250 is the maximum level for a human being. It states that the owner's understanding is confirmed. Alka remarks that he had never thought there was a limit for levels. To begin with, he's never heard of an adventurer with levels this high. Leela happily rushes towards Alka and embraces him. She thanks him for saving her, but Alka smiles and says it's only natural that he would save her since, if she didn't give him the potion, he's sure that monster would have killed him. Leela says whatever the reason may be, he's her hero. Surprised, Alka mutters that he's still an immature hero. If he lets them live, they'll attack another village. Knowing that, he couldn't stop his sword and couldn't solve the problem without taking lives. Leela slowly admits he's not wrong, but reminds him that because he wielded the sword, everyone is still alive. She tells him to be proud of himself since she will not allow him to deny himself. Alka smilingly thanks Leela since it's a relief to hear her say that. Leela says she's glad to hear it before Mill runs up towards them and says she's evacuated all the people who were trapped. Alka praises her for doing a good job, so she happily says she's glad she could be of help since she couldn't just let him fight while she watched. She tells Alka that she'll fight with him to the bitter end. However, Alka says it's okay because he wants her and Leela to evacuate far away from here. He powers up as the armor states that the owner is now level 250 and can easily overwhelm the enemy monster. Alka says he's done increasing his level and is ready to take down that monster. The orc lands in front of Alka, who says this is perfect timing and tells Leela and Mill to run because he'll end this here. They agree and quickly escape as Alka apologizes for running away from it earlier. However, he says he's not running anymore because it's time to settle this. The orc furiously screams, seeing which Alka slowly walks towards it, muttering that at first he wasn't even allowed to swing a sword. Then he wielded a sword to live to answer everyone's wishes. He wielded his sword, so he tells the orc to be honored. He declares that he has reached the limit of human growth and the orc will be the first one to experience his strength. The orc wildly screams and charges forward to punch, but Alka deflects it and says that kind of attack won't work anymore. He attacks the orc, slamming it backwards and slams down on its stomach. The orc hurriedly gets up and gets ready to fire his energy beam at him. However, Alka doesn't move as it powers up. The armor informs him that it's detecting energy convergence several times greater than ever before. However, Alka says he'll be fine as he is now and tells the orc to give it up because in this world, level is everything. The orc finally fires its energy beam at Alka, who stays unfazed and declares that no matter how hard it tries, it will never be able to defeat him. The orc screams as Alka asks what's wrong, and if it's afraid now, declaring that it used its power to lay waste to the people of this village, and now it's about to be overwhelmed by an even more powerful power. He says it's nothing unusual for this world and charges forward. The orc angrily gets ready to punch Alka, but he swiftly slashes down on its head, making it buckle. The orc powers up and fires his energy beam again, but Alka declares that he will teach it despair if it still wants to do this. As the orc relentlessly fires at Alka, but it doesn't affect him this time either, and he asks if it understands now, because this is the difference between them both. The orc wearily looks down and tries to punch Alka, who swiftly keeps dodging its attacks and chops of his arm. The orc screams in pain before Alka says they should end this now and orders it to kneel. The orc wildly tries to attack him with his energy beams. However, Alka tells it to succumb to this overwhelming force of power because it has hurt the people of this village and must pay for it now. Alka stabs the orc's eye, after which the armor tries to absorb its level. However, it doesn't work since the owner has already reached the upper limit of the human level. New features of the Abyss armor release, and it reveals that Alka can now use level conversion for if the owner wishes to reach even greater heights. It adds that it is recommended to make good use of it. The following day, after the orc has been defeated, a man asks for some wood and his friend is about to carry it over for him. However, Alka supports him, seeing which the man thanks him, calling him their village's hero. Alka asks the armor what exactly level conversion is, so it explains that by using level conversion, the owner can acquire new epic skills in exchange for their level. Alka is surprised when it mentions epic skills, and it's explained that epic skills are valuable abilities with a variety of effects such as increased movement speed and fire resistance. Many of them are of great help to adventurers. Normally, these skills can be acquired at a very low rate after one has accumulated enough experience to level up. However, since Alka can't gain experience, he had given up on obtaining epic skills. Alka mutters that even though he had to exchange his level for it, he can get valuable epic skills in return. He wonders what in the hell this Abyss armor is, as it tells him that the first skill recommended to be acquired is the level cap breakthrough skill, which makes the maximum level limit of all races unlimited. Alka sees that the level cost is 240 and sees that this is the amount of level he must pay for acquiring it. His level right now is 250, so he lost most of his current level if he acquires this skill. However, upon thinking about the future, he admits the level cap breakthrough skill is an absolute must. He agrees to acquire the skill, so the armor reveals that a statement is needed in the order of activation word and the name of the skill he wishes to acquire, with the activation word being request skill. Alka requests the skill level cap breakthrough, after which the armor approves the request and executes level conversion. Alka suddenly starts shuddering and glows with golden light. As Alka reacts with pain, the armor informs him that it has received his payment and has granted level cap breakthrough to him. Shocked, Alka wonders what this feeling is, since it feels as if his very being has been extended. The armor states that the owner has surpassed the maximum level of humanity. That means the owner has shifted to a being transcends humanity. Alka acknowledges that going from corpse scrapper to a being that transcends humanity is quite a change of title. Meanwhile, an adventurer arrives at the village and annoyingly mutters that he thought it was about time, so he came back to check, but someone's already taken down that monster. He angrily says this was just a waste of time and wonders if there's even an adventurer strong enough to defeat the orc in this village. The armor states that with the level limit being broken through, the 200 levels that were pending to be absorbed will be transferred to the owner. Surprised, Alka remembers that he wasn't able to drain the orc's levels when he defeated it and reaches level 210. He mutters that even though his level has decreased because of level conversion, at least he's not going to lose to some monster around here. With this, he believes he should get more epic skills that cost less. Epic skills are valuable, so if he can get a lot of them, he can become the one and only strongest adventurer in the world. In that case, he has to make a plan for the future. He suddenly hears someone calling for him, and Leela happily embraces Alka from behind, surprising him. She says she was looking for him and explains that yesterday, right after he defeated the monster, the whole village was in chaos and she couldn't find him at all. Alka quickly apologizes since he was helping put out fires all over the village yesterday. Mel arrives, saying Leela was worried about him the whole time and admits she was too. Alka says he's glad both of them are safe. Leela agrees, saying this was all thanks to him protecting them, and blushingly thanks him before kissing him on the cheek. Alka turns towards her in surprise before she embarrassingly declares that she loves him and runs away. A chef arrives behind Alka and sees that spring has come to him at last, and Mil teases him as well. Alka annoyingly tells them to go away and exasperatedly sighs, remarking that he couldn't even imagine someone liking him until just a few moments ago. He wonders what he should do, so the armor suggests that he show his manliness here. Surprised, Alka annoyingly tells it to stop. A few days later, some people arrive at Rael village and see that this looks like the village they came for. A man mutters that it looks pretty desolate and questions if they didn't make it in time. His party member says it looks like the village has been attacked by another monster, since if the Blaze Dragon went on a rampage here, the whole village would be gone now. The man agrees, saying he thinks they should go to the village and ask them what happened since they must do everything they can to stop the blaze dragon from doing more damage. He says they should get going and his entire party follows after him. Meanwhile, inside a cave, the blaze dragon wildly screams. Alka, who is level 1, lands directs hits on a group of lizards and remarks that he's gained new epic skills in these past few days. One of them is permanent poison effect. The level cost was big at 200. However, by simply hitting the enemy with a knife coated with poison, he can easily defeat small fry enemies. The other is increased knife throwing accuracy. With these two, even if he loses levels due to level conversion, he can raise his level without having to fight head-on. The downside is that it takes a few hours for the poison to drain the monster's health, but with this, he could easily raise his level even at level 1. He sees that it looks like another monster has died somewhere and absorbs its level, getting to level 41. He decides to convert this level into an epic skill 2 and requests the skill, Increased Poison Effect. He reverts back to level 1 and says this should help him raise his levels even more efficiently. He wearily mutters that he's tired. He believes he's got about 20 monsters stabbed by his knives right now. In a few hours, he should be back up to level 200 or so and cheerily says he should head back to the village now. Near the village, Alka wonders what's going on and asks some townspeople if something's happened. The man from before asks if he's an adventurer too, as it's revealed that he's Ian, a level 120 guild adventurer. Ian says he's hoping Alka can help them, but surprisingly sees that his level is a bit too low and his party is surprised by the fact that he's level 1. Alka remarks that he's familiar with this reaction and Ian says it looks like he just started becoming an adventurer. However, Alka denies this, revealing that he's been doing this for years, surprising Ian. A man cheerily asks Alka if he's still level 1 and says he must be joking. Alka stays silent, seeing which the man realizes he's being serious and suddenly remembers hearing rumors of such an adventurer famous for being the weakest of the weak who is called the corpse scrapper. Hypothetically speaking, Alka asks what's wrong with that and asks Ian what's happened. Ian slowly explains that they are here tasked by the guild with a subjugation request. Recently, sightings of a certain unusual monster have been reported around this area. Alka asks what they mean by an unusual dragon, so Ian reveals that he's talking about a black dragon. The Blaze Dragon, a powerful monster above level 150. He says it would take more than a few adventurers to defeat it, which is why they formed a team of adventurers with epic skills to take it down. He smilingly says they will definitely defeat that dragon and tells Alka to not worry. They introduce themselves and Alka remarks that he could probably defeat a level 150 dragon on his own. However, he remembers that the corpse he originally found was that of a black dragon as well. An adventurer alarmingly rushes to Ian's side and reveals that a scouting party has found the Blaze Dragon. The adventurer tells Ian that the scouting party is currently leading the Blaze Dragon towards the meadow, so Ian says they'll go to where they are now. He tells the entire party that the target for this battle has appeared and tells them to get ready to fight. Alka remarks that the levels of the adventurers in this subjugation party ranges from level 80 to 120. Even if they are an elite group with epic skills, there will surely be many casualties against a level 150 dragon, so we can't let them go on as they are. Alka hurriedly stops them and asks them to take him with them, remarking that the monsters he stabbed with the poison knife are about to die, so his level should return to 200 and he should be able to protect them at level 200. However, Ian declines because he can't put a level 1 like him in danger. Alka tries to argue, but he suddenly feels the gaze of all the adventurers watching him and wondering what's up with him, saying a level 1 like him can't do anything. He's weak, but he has a strong sense of justice. The man from before tells Alka he's going to speak to him on behalf of their kind leader and orders him to stay out of this. As the party goes on without him, Alka worryingly says if he doesn't do something, there will be casualties. However, with his current level, it's no wonder they won't take him seriously. He says he has no choice but to wait and chase after them later. Later in the cave, Ian and his party are worryingly standing in front of the Blaze Dragon, and he realizes it's not even close since it's not a Blaze Dragon after all. It's a disaster-level monster, a Dragon King who unites the Black Dragons, the Jet Black Dragon King, Blaze Destroyer that is revealed to be level 300. Ian desperately tells his party to retreat because they can't handle this on their own and have to call the guild for help, but they suddenly get attacked by the dragon's tail. Rushing towards them, Alka realizes the battle has already started and recognizes the dragon as the corpse back from the dragon's lair. He worryingly questions if it regenerated from that state, but decides that now isn't the time to think about that. The dragon wildly screams and gets ready to fire a beam at Ian and his party. Alka hurriedly asks the Abyss armor how much longer he has until he can retrieve the levels. The armor states that it will take approximately 30 more seconds as Alka wildly rushes towards the dragon to protect Ian and the others. Alka desperately tries to make it in time, but he suddenly receives the levels from the monsters he killed through poison, and the armor confirms the defeat of monsters by poison and absorbs its levels, increasing him to level 201. Alka quickly requests skill, Flame Nullification. As the dragon fires, Alka is only able to make it in time to save one person. Shocked, Ein asks if he just stopped Blaze Destroyer's flame breath. The man from before wearily asks how they got defeated, but the weak corpse scrapper is still standing. Alka reveals that that's because he's much stronger than all of them. However, his strength can't protect all of them and it was half-baked, so he apologizes before the man slowly collapses. Alka rounds on the dragon, muttering that no matter how strong he gets, lives just keep spilling out of his hands. For the sake of all these adventurers he couldn't protect, he'll defeat it right here, right now. The dragon menacingly roars and Ein hurriedly calls Alka, but he says it's alright and stops the beam, saying this kind of fireball won't work on him. Ein slowly asks Alka what in the world he is. As the dragon growls, Alka inwardly says its flame attack won't work on him anymore, but in exchange for the flame nullification, he lost most of his level. Since Alka is level 21, he wonders how he should beat it and questions if there is any way to raise his level again. He hurriedly dodges the dragon's claw and remarks that physical attacks are dangerous since he can't take those claws at this level. Alka suddenly remembers that Ein is behind him and turns around to check, but that distraction leaves him vulnerable to being attacked by the claws and he gives in. However, the Blaze Destroyer's neck suddenly gets chopped off with a single swing, shocking Alka, who asks the person who they are. The man declares that his name is Balder, a Calamity-class adventurer, and only a few others like him exist on the entire continent. Surprised, Ein says he's never met a Calamity-class adventurer before and reveals that their strength creates antidotes and their exploits create legends, an existence that transcends the boundaries of humanity, the adventurer, who reigns supreme above all that they can attain, that is the Calamity-class adventurer. Balder smilingly sees that Ein sure knows his stuff, and Alka acknowledges that he is certainly beyond the limits of humanity, since he's a level 300 adventurer, who possesses level cap breakthrough. The armor informs him that Balder is presumed to be a person born with level cap breakthrough, which Alka notes is the exact opposite of his no experience gain. He asked Balder if he came here to save them, but Balder arrogantly tells him to not get it wrong and asks if he's the one who ruined his plans. Alka asks what he means by his plans, so Balder says the villagers were really proud to tell him about it. They said it was the hero in black armor who defeated the one-eyed monster. He was wondering what kind of adventurer it would be, but turns out he's nothing but a weakling. The Blaze Destroyer suddenly starts roaring, but Balder stabs it with his sword and orders it to shut up because he's in the middle of talking. He tells Alka that as long as the Blaze Destroyer's core on its chest isn't destroyed, it will keep regenerating, and reveals that he killed this thing once in a goblin's nest. Shocked, Alka asks what he just said as Balder reveals that he didn't destroy the core and just left it there dying. Stunned, Alka slowly asks why he would do that, so Balder reveals that when a monster eats the flesh of the Blaze Destroyer, their body structure changes drastically and they go berserk. The Blaze Destroyer is so powerful that it can obliterate an entire village, so he needed something weaker, and a monster that went berserk was just what he needed. He reveals that the reason he wanted a weaker monster was so that he could carry out Plan 1. He needed it to attack the village so that he could save it, after which he would carry out Plan 2, where he could take down the culprit again. That way, he'll have more fame than if he just killed it straight away. Ein reacts with shock as Balder tells Alka that he ruined his plan. Alka questions if he put everyone in the village at risk for something like fame, so Balder calls him an idiot and announces that a Calamity-class adventurer like him is looking for fame, gold, and women because those with power should live as they please. Alka declares that this is all truly nonsense and asks Balder if he has any idea of how many villagers he's injured, and how many adventurers have died just for the sake of his desires and because of his greed. He asks the Abyss armor to lend him its strength because he's going to strike down this Calamity-class adventurer who reigns high above to the depths of the earth. Balder laughingly asks Alka if he really wants to strike him down to the depths of the earth and angrily orders him to stop spouting this nonsense. He unleashes his power as Alka remarks that Balder is level 300, so if he faces him head-on, he'll be instantly obliterated. However, the Blaze Destroyer's core is on the verge of collapse, so if he can destroy the core and absorb the Blade Destroyer's level, there's a chance for him to win. He quickly asks the Abyss armor if there's any skill he can get now that can destroy the core from a distance. The Abyss armor starts searching and states that it will take a few seconds to complete before Balder asks why the hell he's just standing there and rushes forward, telling him to be gone. Alka hurriedly dodges and gets thrown back by the impact. He's surprised by the power of the blow from a Calamity-class adventurer. Balder annoyingly realizes he missed and says he won't miss next time. Alka realizes he'll die at this rate before the armor completes its search and recommends acquiring a micro-explosive, which makes his own weapon explode and costs 20 levels. Stunned, Alka questions what he should do with this, and Alka mutters that even if he blows up his sword, it won't destroy the core from far away. The armor states that blowing up his own sword is not recommended. In that case, Alka hurriedly asks what else he should do, so the armor reminds him that he owns a poison knife he used to level up. Alka suddenly says he gets it now as Balder sees that he's still standing up and declares that there's nothing he can do since he's already a wreck after one blow. Alka requests the skill, micro-explosive weapon, seeing which Balder asks what he intends to do. Alka announces that he'll turn the tide with this and throws the poison knives. Balder easily blocks them and reminds Alka that it's useless if it doesn't hit, even though it is a strange thing. Alka admits he's right but says that's not a problem because those are baits. Balder turns around in shock to see one of the knives lodged into the Blaze Destroyer's core before Alka suddenly detonates it, causing a small explosion. Alka declares that the Blaze Destroyer is dead with this. Rays of light suddenly exude the dragon and fly towards Alka. The armor confirms that he's absorbed the dragon's levels and confirms his increase in level. Balder watches in shock as Alka instantaneously rushes forward and strikes him. Balder manages to block it in time and questions how this could be possible when he was level 21 just a few minutes ago. Alka acknowledges that that's right, but now he's level 301. Balder realizes what happened and says he always wondered how Alka beat that one-eyed monster, but it's all thanks to his ability. He knocks Alka back and tells him to not mess with him because a mere one-level advantage doesn't even come close to surpassing the experience of a Calamity-class adventurer. He charges forward to attack and Alka barely manages to dodge. However, he appears behind Balder and strikes him, declaring that he will never be defeated against that greed-stained blade of his. Balder tells Alka he has a lot of nerve since he's ranting and raving in his presence and orders him to shut up. He furiously activates his epic skill, Manifestation of Tyrant God, and screams as a lightning bolt strikes him from above. Fired up, Alka watches in shock as Balder strikes with his sword and announces that this is the true power of a Calamity-class adventurer. As he attacks, he warns Alka to not run. Alka admits it'll be over for him if he takes the attack directly and says he truly is a Tyrant God, so he'll have to use that thing since it's come to this. He found it when he was looking at the skill exchange list, a special skill that can be used only once. He hurriedly starts requesting his skill, but Balder says he won't let it and attacks. Alka quickly dodges, but just as he's about to be hit by another attack, Ein shields him but gets knocked over as well. Ein regretfully says his comrades wouldn't be dead if Balder had defeated the Blaze Destroyer from the beginning and asks him to avenge his comrades. Alka says he will and requests the skill, Curse of the Black Armor. Balder orders Alka to stop mumbling and shut up as he attacks again. Alka hurriedly blocks as the armor tells him this skill can only be used once and tells him to reconfirm the conversion request. Alka says it's no problem and tells it to go ahead and convert it. As the attack hits them, the armor confirms the request and says the cost to acquire this requested skill is 1 plus an additional cost, and that additional cost can be added to the level cost needed to acquire it. Alka hurriedly tells it to set additional level costs to 299 because together with the cost of acquisition, he will pay 300. The armor confirms this and executes level conversion before a beam of light strikes Alka from above, shocking Ein, who questions what he's doing. Balder angrily asks what the hell he just did and laughingly sees that he's level 1 now. He mocks Alka's useless ability and tells him to go ahead and die now. However, Alka suggests that they fall together and activates the Curse of the Black Armor. Dark energy suddenly envelops Balder's entire body, and he shockingly realizes his energy is being drained away. Alka says this is the Curse of the Black Armor for every additional cost paid. It reduces the opponent's level by that paid cost. Alka reveals that the additional cost he paid was 299 levels, and now Balder's power will be decreased by 299 levels. Alka smugly asked Balder how many levels he thinks he'll be down to. Balder asks if he's joking and desperately tells him to let go of him, but Alka says it's simple maths because with this, both of them are going to be level 1. Balder warily falls down and questions if he's kidding him. He summons his magic window and is stunned to see that the Great M has been reduced to level 1. He infuriatingly tells Alka that just because he's reduced him to level 1 doesn't mean he's going to win against him because he's a Calamity-class adventurer. Even at level 1, he can still beat him to a pulp. However, Alka suddenly slashes through him and explains that in Rael village just a while ago, there used to be a man called Corpse Scrapper, He was born with a skill that made it so he couldn't gain any experience and wasn't able to level up. Balder angrily tells Alka to not mess with him and attacks, but Alka effortlessly dodges out of the way and reveals that Corpse Scrapper was level 1 for all his life, so it's sad that Balder got the wrong opponent since he, the Corpse Scrapper, knows how to fight at level 1 more than anyone else in the world. Alka swiftly chops off Balder's arm as he says this. Balder wildly turns around to face Alka and declares that he hasn't lost yet, but Alka says this is enough since the battle is over. Balder charges towards him, but Alka mutters that he can't even keep his composure anymore and knocks aside his sword, declaring that it's over before slashing through his body. Balder weakly collapses, seeing which Ein hurriedly wrings Alka's hand and thanks him for defeating Balder. Alka smilingly says there's no need to thank him since he couldn't forgive him either and would have fought him even if he hadn't asked him to. Besides, it looks like it's not over yet. Balder screams out, saying that Alka took his right arm, a Calamity-class adventurer's arm, and pushed him this far. He doesn't like it, but he's sure other Calamity-class adventurers will soon find out about this. If he suddenly disappears, they'll wonder where he's gone and try to find out what's happening. They're all a bunch of peculiar folks, so someone will surely come hunting for him, after which it will all be over for him. Alka tells Balder that if a Calamity-class adventurer wants to challenge him, he'll just turn the tables on them. Balder chuckles and says he hopes he doesn't lose that confidence of his. He inwardly remarks that he's lost too much blood and his wrist suddenly starts glowing as he bids farewell to Alka. Ein recognizes that he's wearing a teleportation item and tells Alka to quickly finish him off because he's getting away. Alka hurriedly rushes forward to end him as Balder declares that he will be the one who ends him if he fails to die. Alka mutters that he got away, so Ein quickly asks what they should do since Balder might attack them again if they don't do anything. Alka says it's alright and suggests that they just leave him be since he won't lose even if he stands in their way again. Ein smilingly tells Alka he's reliable, but Alka admits too many people have been killed. Ein says he'll have to report back to the city, but Alka apologizes and says he has a favor to ask him. As they're heading back to the village, Ein asks Alka if he's sure about this, so Alka says he's already made up his mind. He'll be leaving this village. Ein explains that back in the meadow, when he asked him for a favor, he wondered what kind of favor a strong adventurer like him would ask from him, but he had no idea that Alka would want him to take him to another town. Alka admits that he would honestly like to continue to be an adventurer at this village, but after this incident, those Calamity-class adventurers have their eyes on him. He's afraid that someone like Balder will come again and doesn't want this village to get caught up in it again. Ein understands and says that's why he's decided to accept his request since, now that the Blaze Destroyer is no longer a threat, he requested adventurers to be dispatched to deal with the aftermath via magic message, a small magic stone for communication. He adds that even after Alka leaves, those adventurers will protect the village and the village will be safe for the time being. Alka sincerely thanks Ein as they continue moving. Meanwhile, Mill standing behind a shop overhears what they said and hurriedly runs away. Alka is surprised to see that the chef hasn't opened his shop today, so Ein asks if there's someone he wants to say goodbye to. Ein asks what they should do and suggests that they can change the date of the departure. However, Alka smilingly says they should get going since it'll be hard to say goodbye if he meets them, inwardly admitting it's not just a chef. He hasn't said goodbye to Mill or Leela, either because he doesn't want anyone else to get hurt because of their involvement with him. Ein tells Alka that once he leaves the village, he can easily turn back and asks if he's having any second thoughts. Alka says he isn't and walks out of the village gate. However, the chef stops him at the gate and tells him to stop looking so gloomy, knowing he's leaving. He says he heard by chance that Alka was preparing for a journey and baked this bread for him. He asks Alka to take it, so Alka apologizes for leaving the village without telling him. However, the chef tells him to smile because he's sure he has a good reason behind him leaving Rael village. He says he's been watching over him from the very beginning and tells him to at least let him see him go with a smile on his face. Alka slowly smiles and happily says goodbye to him. As they leave, Ein says the chef is a good person and Alka agrees before taking a bite from the bread he made. Ein asks how it tastes, so Alka happily mutters that it's delicious, so Ein smiles and says they should get going in that case, since their destination is the city where his guild is located, Southern Administrative City, Damu. And so Alka leaves Rael village behind just as Mill hurriedly informs Leela that he's leaving. Alka and Ein find a cart being attacked by goblins, so Alka asks Ein if he can hold his bag for the moment and says this is just what he needed since he wanted to raise his level before they arrived at the city. He swiftly cuts through the goblins and absorbs their level, seeing which Ein mutters that he's looking forward to seeing how strong Alka is going to get, after which they begin their journey to Damu. Ein says they're here, introduces Alka to the Southern Administrative City, Damu. Located to the northeast of Rael village, Damu is the largest city in the southern part of the continent. Alka sees that there are a lot of people here and the atmosphere is much different from Rael Village. Ein acknowledges that it's the biggest city in the area after all, and in the center of the city, there's the southern branch of Adventurers Central Management Council too. There are many guilds operating in this city, and there are also many adventurers here. Ein tells Alka he won't stand out that much if he's in this town, that is, if he keeps his level down like he is now. Alka smiles as he is currently at level 110 and thanks him for advising that when not needed, he shouldn't raise his level too much. On the way to Damu, Alka was trying to raise his level as much as he can, but Ein suggested that he shouldn't raise his level too much, since if he raises it too much, he'll attract a lot of attention. For example, if he were to walk around the city at level 300, the birth of a new Calamity class adventurer would be the talk of the city. Alka realizes other Calamity class adventurers would notice him if that happened. Ein adds that moreover, if they find out he's the adventurer who defeated Baldur, depending on who he's up against, he could end up fighting in the middle of the city, and many of the Calamity class adventurers are quite problematic, so he thinks it's best to avoid detection if he can. Normally, there's no point in adventurers fighting each other because adventurers exist to maintain peace. Presently, Alka remarks that Ein is an adventurer he can respect. Adventurers are often obsessed with money and fame. Even Baldur was like that, so he hopes he can be an adventurer like Ein because only having a high level isn't enough. You must also have the will to match that strength. Alka asks where they're going now, and Ein realizes he forgot to tell him that they're headed to the Central Management Council to report on the Blaze Destroyer's case. At the reception desk, the attendant smilingly welcomes them and asks if they're here to report the completion of their commission. Ein reveals that he's already reported the completion of the commission via magic message. The attendant says they'll prepare the reward money for them in that case and asks if he can tell her what commission he's completed. Ein says it's the commission to kill the Blaze Dragon in Rael Village, shocking the attendant, who hurriedly goes to bring the reward money for him right away. She brings out the sacks of gold coins, but Ein stays silent in shock, so she explains that for this commission, the reward money for the casualties will be divided among the survivors. Therefore, as the only survivor, Mr. Ein will receive all the reward money. Shocked, Alka remarks that he's been wondering why Ein looks so sorrowful and questions if the fact that he's going to get all the money for his fallen friends was tormenting him. The attendant asks him to please be careful, so Ein thanks her. Alka is puzzled that she's telling him to be careful, so Ein asks Alka what he would think of the leader of an adventurer party if his family or friends volunteered to join that party and died, and only the leader of that party was able to receive the reward money. Alka reacts with shock as Ein says it was faster than expected, but if possible, he didn't want to involve him in this. Alka watches as a crowd of people tearfully tell Ein to drop dead and give back their friends he sacrificed, because it was a mistake to let a jerk like him be the leader since he must have escaped on his own. Ein mutters that these are the deceased adventurer's family and friends, and he has a duty to face their anger head-on. He led the strike team that resulted in the death of all of his comrades. For that, no matter how much he regrets or grieves it, it won't change the reality. As the townspeople angrily curse Ein, he declares that he will accept all responsibility head-on, as he couldn't save a single member of the strike team and let them all die. A man declares that he doesn't give a damn about how sorry he is. The strike team was made up of the best and questions how they could all be wiped out by a level 150 Blaze Dragon. Alka remarks that that's wrong, since the dragon they fought at the meadow was a level 300 Blaze Destroyer, so it's only natural that the strike team couldn't win. He tells them to hear him out and is about to reveal the truth, but Ein suddenly stops him. He thanks Alka for trying to cover for him, but says it's the truth that he let the whole strike team die. If they had retreated immediately that time and evacuated together with the villagers, the outcome would have been different. Alka tries to say something, but a man steps forward, asking what nonsense he's babbling out. He announces that Ein must have intentionally let the others die so that he could keep the reward money all to himself. Alka steps forward, declaring that Ein would never do such a thing. Ein tries to stop him before the man tells Alka to shut up because he doesn't want to listen to an outsider like him. Alka says he's not an outsider. He's an adventurer who fought the level 300 Blaze Destroyer alongside Ein. The crowd reacts with shock and admits that just getting out alive is a miracle, if that's true. The man tells Alka he's just spewing lies now, saying that he's at level 110, the same level as him even though he hates to admit it, so he questions what kind of miracle allows them to survive against a level 300 monster of that level. Alka says there were a lot of things, but the man starts laughing and calls him a joke before telling him to step aside. Alka challenges the man to make him do it before they both start fighting. Ein hurriedly tells Alka to stop since it's his fault that he wasn't able to save his precious friends. He was a useless leader. However, Alka declares that he's not. It's true that everyone in the strike team was killed, but it was an accident no one could have predicted. He was there for him until the very end. Even in the face of an enemy with an overwhelming level difference, he didn't abandon his dead friends and run away. Alka knocks the man's sword aside and asks how someone who can cry so hard for his dead comrades be a useless leader. He tells Ein that if he decides that he wants to take responsibility for the death of the strike team, that he won't object to it, but to blame himself for everything that happened without clarifying the misunderstandings surrounding the situation is wrong. He says he wants everyone to know that he was a leader who never ran away no matter how hopeless the situation got. Ein tearfully asks Alka why he's going so far for him, so Alka says it's because he's an adventurer he respects, smilingly asking if that's a good enough reason. The man angrily takes out a small knife and charges towards Alka, telling him to die, but a man suddenly steps in between them and holds a sword to his throat, saying that's enough before seeing that Ein is back. Ein affirms this as Alka points his sword at the man, surprised by his intense, intimidating presence. Ein stops Alka to introduce him and says this person is the highest authority of his guild, Sword of Salvation, Master Gilly, who is level 200. Gilly sees that he is Alka, the adventurer who protected Ein from the jet black dragon emperor, Blaze Destroyer. The crowd realizes it's true that the strike team faced something other than just the Blaze Destroyer. Gilly adds that on top of that, Alka even took care of that outlaw Balder. Alka is shocked to see that he knew, so Ein says he needed to be thorough reporting the commission and has informed the Central Management Council and Master Gilly about Balder. It's a fact that Balder drove the Blaze Destroyer to the brink of death, but ultimately, given Alka was the one who destroyed the core and Balder's malignant intent, the reward money was paid to them. Gilly reveals that for the past few days, he has been away from Damu to take down a monster in a faraway place, and he received Ein's report via magic message while he was there, and upon returning, he's seeing a bunch of idiots blaming the survivor without even bothering to find out the details of what had happened to the strike team. He announces to the crowd that he won't tell them to swallow all the pain from the grief and regret for the loss of their family and friends, but to be an adventurer is to protect peace at the cost of one's life. And they died doing that, but to place the blame on anyone else is an insult to all those men and women who risked their lives for them. As the man from before runs away, Alka mutters that this clears up the misunderstanding and asks if it's right to assume that Gilly is on their side. Ein says that's right, but he's not that soft. Gilly turns around and informs Ein that he is hereby expelled from the guild. Alka reacts with shock as Gilly explains that he has cleared up the unjustified misunderstanding, but there is no excuse for his lack of competence. A man with a label like the incompetent leader who annihilated a strike team can't remain in the Sword of Salvation, Damu's most powerful guild. Alka is shocked by the fact that Ein's guild is so amazing as Gilly explains that they have pride as the top guild and asks Ein if he's not going to protest to his expulsion. Ein confirms that he isn't, but says there is one thing he would like to ask him. Gilly asks what it is, so Ein questions if he could accept Alka as a member of the Sword of Salvation. Stunned, Alka hurriedly tries to stop him, but Ein explains that Alka is a very promising adventurer. With the support of the Sword of Salvation, he's sure he will grow into a great adventurer, so even if he's expelled, he won't have to worry about Alka's future. Gilly thinks about it and is about to say something, but Alka declares that he has to decline, saying that it may be inevitable that the Sword of Salvation will expel Ein, but even so, a guild that would cut off its valuable members is not a guild he wants to be part of. Ein asks Alka to calm down, explaining that if he belongs to a guild, he will receive generous support from various sources, and he must belong to a guild to stay active as an adventurer for a long time. Alka asks if he just needs to join a guild and says if that's the case, they should just make one by themselves. In front of an old-looking fort, Alka asks Ein if this is really the right place, so he affirms that this will be his place for now, his starting point, and also for him. Thanks for Alka taking him into his guild. Alka, who declared that he would create his own guild immediately, recruited Ein, who had been expelled from his own guild, on the spot. Alka says he believes he still has a lot to learn from him and asks him to please teach him many things so that he can become a great adventurer. Setting that aside, he says they need to do something about this place first, so Ein mutters that they're not an official guild yet and they don't have any money either, so he's just thankful that they could borrow some of the remaining reward money, since most of the reward money for defeating the Blaze Destroyer was given to the families of those who died in the battle. Apparently that's what Ein had originally planned to do, and all that remains for them is just a few coins of guild. Alka opens a cupboard and dust and smoke suddenly envelop him, seeing which Ein starts laughing. They rented this building with that money to become their guild's home base, but first they get ready to clean up. As Alka starts working, Ein tells him to be careful, but Alka slips and falls down before starting to laugh, remarking that ever since he could use the level drain, all he's done is fight, but sometimes a day like this isn't so bad. Mill and Leela unexpectedly enter the fort, shocking Alka as they ask how he could just leave them behind and say they wouldn't have let him done that. Meanwhile, Knights rush to the western town gate, telling those who can help to hurry up because a giant monster has shown up. As the gigantic monster menacingly watches them, it ruthlessly eats a knight it was holding, shocking everyone. Mill annoyingly asks Alka why he left without telling them, and Leela says they want full explanations. Alka is surprised to see them both here before they suddenly hear an adventurer rushing past the street, urgently calling adventurers because a large monster has appeared at the west gate. He hurriedly asks any adventurers at hand to please rush over, immediately hearing which Ayn says they should head for the west gate too. Alka tells Mill and Leela he'll give them the full explanation later for why he left the village without telling them both. He tells them to stay put and wait for him because he'll be going now, since this will be his first job in the southern administrative city, Damu. A knight worryingly says it's impossible that such a large number of monsters suddenly appeared like this, right in front of Damu's doorstep. The Protagonist level 210 monster menacingly watches as the other adventurers fight cursed skeletons. The man from before, Bill, knocks one aside and questions if that's all they've got. He charges forward and swiftly takes 3 out before asking if Gilly is here yet. A knight says they said he's on his way, so Bill worryingly mutters that he's late. At this rate, the front line will be destroyed first. He slowly turns around to face the monster before it suddenly casts a spell and immobilizes all the adventurers, who realize they can't move because their body's gone numb. Bill remarks that that attack wasn't lethal, but it looks like it's a demonic curse, a powerful kind of curse that starts out as numbness and eventually corrupts the victim's body. The skeletons rise up as Bill inwardly admits he can barely feel his body and questions if he's going to be killed by this trash. Alka suddenly rushes forward and defeats the skeleton before absorbing its level. He tells Ayn that he's raising his level, so Ayn tells him to go ahead because there's no need to hold back in this circumstance. Alka swiftly rushes through the skeletons and reaches level 250. Ayn tells him to leave the mob monsters to him since he'll be fine on his own. Alka agrees, seeing that it's a curse-spewing monster, and mutters that looks like it's already cursed a lot of the city's adventurers, but now it's this monster's turn to curse its own bad luck, saying it should be lucky for it since curses should be its favorites. At the east gate to Damu, Gilly mutters that monsters appeared at the west gate. That's what he'd heard, but after he heard how noisy the east gate was, he came to take a look and is surprised to see a big crowd here. The monster wildly screams and the skeletons surround him, seeing which Gilly says even against a single adventurer, it spares no effort, which is an admirable attitude worthy of praise, even if it is his enemy, but it's a pity because no matter how many it gathers, it will never be a match for him. He activates his epic skill. Demons descend and declares that their lives will end in 15 seconds. Meanwhile, at the west gate, Alka lands down and chops off one of the monster's legs. He swiftly defeats the skeletons as well and says that if this is their serious attack, then they have no power to change the tide of this battle. He absorbs the skeleton's level and reaches level 290 before the monster starts wildly thrashing around and trying to attack them. Ayn hurriedly tells Alka to not let those curse balls touch him, but Alka says it's alright because those balls will never reach him. Bill wonders what the hell that is and wonders if Alka is really the same guy he fought the other day. Alka slashes through the monster's torso, making it collapse, and asks if it's satisfied now that it's cast so many curses. However, he declares that he doesn't need an answer because no matter how much it answers, it is destined to die here. The monster's eyes suddenly shift and it makes the curse balls float. Alka is about to say that no matter how many times it tries, it'll never be able to curse him. However, the monster sends the curse balls towards the town, shocking Alka, who realizes he let his guard down and chops the monster's head into 2 before realizing the monster's target was Damu. The townspeople watch in shock as the curse balls start rushing into the town above them. Alka absorbs the levels from the monster and reaches level 500 as Ayn admits the situation is pretty bad and says the curse used by that monster wasn't just an ordinary curse. It's called the demonic curse. It's a special kind of curse that's difficult to break, and if not properly treated, it will paralyze the entire body and kill you, so he's sure many of Damu's people were affected by that demonic curse from that attack just now. Alka asks if there's anyone in Damu who can break that curse, so Ayn says only a high-level adventurer who specializes in magic can break it. But within the Sword of Salvation Guild, there were only 3 adventurers who were capable enough to do so. Even the top guild in the city had only 3 people, and those 3 are probably the only adventurers in Damu who can break the curse. The adventurers rush outside and ask if everyone's alright. He tells them to hang on so that he can break the curse right away and tells another girl named Mina that the curse is pretty strong, but he thinks they can break it. Mina says they should break the curse for everyone, declaring that she won't let them die as she is revealed to be one of the top magician adventurers from the Sword of Salvation Guild. Ayn says the three who can break the curse are right here. Those in Damu are in dire need of help, but there's no adventurer who can help them right away. Mana is surprised by how powerful the curse is and says even if they break the curse, it would take too long. She insists that these adventurers aren't the only ones who need saving because they still have to save Daramu's people too. Alka instantly heals Bill in front of her and says if he stands out even more, the troublesome Calamity-class adventurers might notice him. He knows that well, but he doesn't want to be the kind of adventurer who refuses to help the people he can save because of something as trivial as that. The armor successfully converts Alka's levels, and he acquires the epic skill. Curse-breaking gold, which unleashes a golden bullet that dispels all curses. Alka asks Ayn if he did the right thing as he reaches level 350, so Ayn smilingly mutters that that's typical of him, so he believes he did the right thing. Alka says that's great and shoots out golden bullets, swiftly healing the cursed adventurers, seeing which Mana mutters that this is unbelievable because of how easily he was able to cure everyone. She asks who he is in awe, but Alka says they can talk later since there are people still suffering in Daramu. She goes with them, declaring that she has her pride as the top magician adventurer and inside Daramu. Alka says they should get started right away.